Mhm.
So we just finished an amazing program, right? Breast Cancer Talk. Great speakers here tonight. And we decided just to do a little recap just to kind of like touch base. And thank you, Cindy, for staying behind because Cindy was our guest. And that something you learned. How was the overall program? What did you think about it prior versus you attending? Because you're actually one among the people. I saw your name logging in very, very early, and you attended throughout the whole thing. And so, give us a little feedback. What was your biggest before versus during the program today?
So initially, when I saw the flyer, I was on the fence because it's on a Sunday, and I'm like, I want to rest. Tomorrow's Monday. But then I was like, okay, let me just take the leap of faith and go in and learn and see what I can learn. And honestly, guys, whoever is out there that's watching this, I want you to just the price of ignorance that we pay as humans is too high to just say, oh, because this is something that it's breast cancer, maybe that it's women, I don't want to learn. You have to learn. Either it's for yourself or your family. One of the things that I learned, I had no idea that men could get breast cancer. I had no clue that could happen. And the other thing is the little things, like even when we're always told, as a woman, after you get to the age of 40, you need to get a mammogram. Do you know that the different kinds of mammograms that you need to get? Do you know that it changes the game when there is history of breast cancer in your family? And do you realize that after you get breast cancer, you're also vulnerable to get other types of cancers? There is so much information that was shared tonight that honestly, I'm like all fired up and I want to call all my friends and all my family members. I'm like, guys, we need to have meetings. We need to talk about this. We need to learn how we can protect ourselves. We need to make sure that we go to the doctor. We make sure that we eat the right things. We work out. So there was a lot of amazing information I'll share tonight. It was a great session all around.
Wow, awesome. What about you, Tumani? How did you feel? Because I know me and you, when we talked about this, right? And you said you're going to reach out to Dr. Chi. I said, I'm going to go out there and hunt people around. And I'm actually very thankful, right? A dear friend of mine connected me with Dr. Toma, right? And she brought Beyond Value. How about that? And that is like value. I said, I call it gems because we will pay a lot of money and probably don't even get the information that we got here tonight. So, to me, these two positions are beyond selfless, right? So even coming from a medical perspective or from a healthcare background, there's certain so many information that I also didn't know. But just sitting here and learning all this stuff, not just from the healthcare background, but also from the financial aspect of things. I don't know, what was your takeaway, Tumaine? Because I'm sure you are learning something too. What was your takeaway?
Yes, tonight's session is beyond what I envisioned it to be. Like it was what I thought it was gonna be. It just exceeded my expectation 110 times, right? Initially, I had it, okay, we're gonna have physicians in, we're gonna have testimonies, but let me tell you, like I always tell people, these doctors brought so much value. When you just go to a physician, and Dr. Chi mentioned a very great information I think everybody needs to know, right? In order for you to have that meaningful relationship with your doctor, you need to know yourself, you need to know your body, and you need to do that research. How do you do the research? Is attending these kind of webinars, right? Because when you don't know something and with our busy lifestyle, you're gonna go there and you don't even know what to ask because you don't even know it exists. You see, Dr. Toma mentioned something very important and say that there's two kinds of mammograms. There's 2D, 3D, there is diagnostics, there is a, so it's like when you go specifically ask for this, and I'm like, I wouldn't have known that in a million years because one, I don't have time to research. Two, I mean, we're busy. And if it has never happened to you, you will never ever know. So these kind of webinars, I truly encourage everybody to take that time and attend. Why? Because you're gonna learn something that is gonna save you 1,000 hours of research online because you're researching pretty much what you don't even know. So that means you're gonna read a million pages than for you to just sit and listen to what a 1 hour session. So I think Dr. Veronica, this was truly amazing. It exceeded my expectation. The people that didn't get to attend, I truly, truly command you next time, make sure that you attend. We're gonna have Look, we're gonna redo this session and we're gonna post the links out and the dates. So please, 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 if you're at work, take time off or go to your break, go on break during that time slot. Invite as many people as possible. Like Cindy says, she didn't know men could get breast cancer, so it's not just for women, right?
Mhm.
It's for
Yeah.
men as well, right? Irene said when she noticed that she had like a orange kind of pore on her breast, she had to ask her husband, right? It's the person that is close to her. But what if he had no clue completely, completely, completely? So these kind of sessions, you never know who you're gonna be able to help, right? So I truly commend everybody. Attend our next session. Invite, invite, invite. Let us bring that awareness. We saw the statistics, Black women are most vulnerable. And when we get diagnosed, it's always at a later stage. Why? Because we don't have time to get checked. We don't have time. We don't know anything. It's not because we don't have money, because we have the resources, but we just don't know how to use them. So reach out to your primary physician, reach out to your licensed financial professional, get protected. That's another thing. Get protected because, like an umbrella, right? Dr. Veronica said a very interesting quote and say that you don't go outside, get rained on, and then start looking for umbrella, right? Get that umbrella now. So I truly, truly recommend everybody to come to our next session. And then the next thing is we're going to share our contact information, get in touch with one of us if you have a personal question, resources available in your particular state. We're going to share that with you. Thank you, Dr. May.
Absolutely. And also, I truly commend you bringing up, this the fact that Irene shared her own personal story and she took her time and really educated us on how it felt, from the time she felt the symptoms. She didn't even know it was going to be breast cancer. This just came like, whoa, So she talked about key things like how she's a registered nurse and she took care of patients, right? But you'll be surprised, even her being a registered nurse, having medical insurance, never saw a primary care physician. Because most of us, let's say we come as immigrants in this country, we bring all our old habits from back home here into this country, and we think it's gonna work here, but it doesn't. So unfortunately, she went through it all. So, each time when we do it, let's say, on Thursday, don't do our financial sessions, right? Every day, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. People feel like, oh, Dr. V is just talking stuff. No, we see patients, see what people are going through. So each time, and exactly like what Irene said, like she used to see people with breast cancer and people with all this stuff, and used to say it's for them until when cancer knocked on her door. So I always tell people, do not make, right? Just like what also Tumaini, I think, said the same thing. Your emergency is somebody else's priority. So when it comes to finances and also healthcare, guess what? These two actually go hand in hand. People just don't know that. So things like income protection, people often procrastinate before, guess what? They don't qualify, or maybe it's too late, right? But also that goes to the same thing. People don't forget to also protect their health, right? Cindy, I think, had mentioned something a little bit about, how much doctors don't talk a lot about prevention, right? I think that's the same thing that she learned from Dr. Chi, right? That even our doctors, maybe this is something that I say this session for everybody, that doctors also need to kind of like bring out the prevention aspect of things, not just the treatment aspect of things in any kind of diagnosis that's out there. And of course, when it comes to cancer, early detection is what really saves lives. So imagine Irene came from a stage 3, right? To a survivor. How many of those cases do we really see? So if it's not for God, she talked about the mindset, what are people going through, the changes in the clothing, right? The image, the psychology, how are people going to see me and stuff like that. So today was beyond a powerful session. And talking about income protection, how much she had to ask for a GoFundMe, $9,000, right, is what her community could contribute. But I will tell that is a lot of money. I showed you a GoFundMe of $2,000. $9,000, that's a lot. But how much was it for her? She has to go through chemo and radiology and all of these things. She had a whole day schedule. Did you guys catch that part?
Yes.
From morning to evening. So when we talk about income protection, people not being able to work, is not a one-time thing. So that's one thing that people don't understand. So having a cancer survivor and other people out there really bring out this topic, as I always say, cancer is not an October thing. Cancer is an everyday thing. Healthcare is not only an awareness once in a month thing, but it's an everyday thing. Same thing with finances and income protection and everything else that we're talking here tonight. So we have, how many people did we have? Was somebody counting?
Oh my goodness, I think over 100.
100, right?
Like there were
Mhm.
so many people.
Over 100
oh
people. I
wow.
mean, oh my gosh. And next time we
Yes,
should have even more. We should have even
awesome.
more.
Yes.
It's gonna
Right. So that's like 100+ people, right? That really took this information and then will be able to what? Help their sister and then the cousin and their wives and their child and their whatever, Irene's kids. Did you guys remember that story when the kids came in and they were talking about the experience? I did not expect that part. So selfless.
That
Yo,
was very
I was
awesome.
holding it. I was holding it. So those are things that we don't think about, right? I don't even talk about family. I feel like I was so ignorant myself, right? So thinking that I know so much, but I really didn't, you see? So that's it. So just wanted a little recap. So these 100 people, so check this out, guys. This is actually a service giving back to our own communities. The 100 people who are today educated not only about breast cancer, but also the power of income protection are the same 100 people that are going to make this difference in our community, because you know what? We are going to keep having these sessions. Yes, we might be having a redo of this session, hopefully, but there's so many things that we're going to be sharing to make sure our day-to-day society, our professions are actually going back and give back to our community by giving this free education. And guys, you know what? Our communities will never be the same again. No more poverty, no more pain, but you know what? We're just not going to build wealth and also have healthier lives. So thank you so much, guys, for staying back to do a little recap. But if you guys have anything else to say, otherwise, I think that's all good. All right. Thank you so much, Cindy, for being our guest, one of our guests, and agreeing to do a neutral, feedback. And to Maini, I think you did an amazing job. Thank you so much for being the host today. And yeah, so thank you, guys. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.